us, this is likely the very first narrative offered about the new generation, meaning between the spy story and Korach, there's 38 years. Almost all commentators believe that the first story happened right after they crossed the sea, and that this is the first story we learn about the character of the new generation that will enter the land. Moses was still going to go with the old generation. I mean, why not Shlach, Korah? Think of everything that's happened in the book of Numbers up until this point. There is a break, and then we are in the 40th year. So the stories are actually different, and they read that way. In Exodus, you have a local problem. All politics are local. You have a local problem. The people need water. They don't understand how this works yet, the journeying in the desert. They say, we're thirsty. Can we please have some water? We are going, and they say it, we're thirsted. Vayitzma sham ha'am lamayim. They needed water. Why did you bring us out to die if we're not going to have water? And God says, oh, you better get them water. Go get the elders and hit the rock. Who does God hit the rock in front of him, Exodus? Just the elders, not the entire people. It was literally functional, pragmatic. How do we get the people water? Moses hit the rock. Now it's 40 years later. There's a new generation. They know some of the stories. Maybe they don't know this story. There's a lot they have missed along the way. They are going to be the ones going into the land. They are going to be our future. And it's no longer a local story. It's not about water. It looks like it's about water. The people, there's no water. Miriam dies. The people assemble against them. But they say, you brought us to die out here. There's no seed, no fig, no vine, no pomegranate, and there's no water. Water is a side story. This is a story about the people fearing once again that they don't have protection, God's protection in the desert. A new group of people feeling what the first group of people who left Egypt are feeling, to which Moses assumes he's got a local problem, get them water. But for God, it is a much bigger problem. It is a global problem. It is a, do they have faith in me? Can they have faith in me? Will this generation be what I wanted to the last generation to be, but could never get there? So therefore, Moses, I want you to do something unusual to show them that God is in fact in charge. Talk to the rock. I want them to see. And this one doesn't happen in front of the elders. This miracle has to happen back in front of Kol HaKahal, the entire congregation, because these new Israelites need to see God's power up close and personal. And Moses doesn't get it. He can't hear it. Moses can't see the forest through the trees. Moses hears water and can only hear about water and can only think about fixing the water, when in fact God was asking Moses to do something significantly larger than this. And this, we believe, we, like me and whoever else believes this, is the reason Moses couldn't be the generation, the leader to take this new generation into the land. Moses was a leader for the first generation, but not the next. Leadership demands responding to the actual need in the right way, not the perceived need in the right way. I'm going to say that again. Leadership requires responding to the actual need in the right way, not the perceived need in the right way. Doing the right thing is important, but it is not always the right thing for the leader to do in that moment in order to lead forward. That was the sin of Moses. I'm not saying anything more than I'm actually saying, just in case you're, I'm really not. This entire Josh was support for the cliche, can't see the forest through the trees. But we do need leadership that can see the forest through the trees, that can hear certain words and understand they are bigger sometimes than the specificity of what somebody may be saying to us. It's critical, and it's where Moses, 40 years later, after that long journey, was already done. He was done. And God knew it, and the people eventually found out. Shabbat Shalom.